The room went silent when my name was read. Not my father's, not my mother's, mine. And the look on their faces, I will never forget it. Because in that moment, everything they thought they controlled shattered. I hadn't seen my parents in 5 years, 5 long, painful years. The last time we spoke, my mother stood in the doorway with her arms crossed, refusing to look me in the eye. "You're not our responsibility anymore," she said coldly. I was 19, still a kid, really. I remember clutching my bag, just hoping my father would say something. Stop it, fix it. But he didn't. He just turned away. That was the night I left with nowhere to go. Except one place, my grandfather's house. He didn't ask questions, he didn't judge. He just opened the door, looked at me with tired eyes and said, "You're home." And just like that, I had a family again. For the next 10 years, I took care of him. Doctor visits, medications, cooking, cleaning. But it wasn't a burden. It was love. The kind I hadn't felt since I was a child. We would sit on the porch every evening, watching the sunset. Sometimes he would tell me stories about his life. Sometimes we'd just sit in silence. But it was a peaceful silence, the kind that heals you. Meanwhile, my parents? They never called. Not once. No birthdays, no holidays, nothing. As if I never existed. Until the day my grandfather died. The call came early in the morning. I was sitting by his bed when it happened, his hand in mine, his breathing slowing. And just before he passed, he whispered something I didn't understand at the time. "You deserve the truth." Then, he was gone. The funeral was the first time I saw my parents again. My mother cried loudly, dramatically. My father stood stiff, shaking hands with relatives. But when their eyes met mine, there was no warmth, just discomfort, like I was a stranger. Then came the reading of the will. That's where everything changed. We all sat in the attorney's office. My parents, my aunt, my cousins, and me. The unwanted one, the forgotten one. The attorney cleared his throat. As per the wishes of Mr. Harrison, my mother leaned forward, already emotional. "He has decided to divide his estate." She squeezed my father's hand, almost smiling. They expected it. Of course they did. They were his children. They thought everything would go to them. But then, the attorney continued, entirely to his grandson. Silence. Pure, suffocating silence. My mother blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" My father's face went pale. "That's not possible." The attorney adjusted his glasses. "It is very clear. The house, savings, investments, everything has been left to him." And then he said my name. My name. My mother let out a sharp laugh. "This is ridiculous. There must be a mistake." "There is no mistake," the attorney replied calmly. My father leaned forward, his voice trembling. "He's just a kid. We are his family." The attorney looked straight at him. "He was the one who took care of your father for the last 10 years. That hit. Hard. My mother's face twisted. "So what? That doesn't mean he gets everything." I stayed quiet. I didn't say a word, because for the first time in my life, I felt seen. Then the attorney added something else, something none of us expected. "There is an additional letter, to be read privately by the grandson." My parents' eyes snapped toward me. Suspicion, anger, fear. I took the letter with shaking hands. I didn't open it there. I couldn't. As we left the office, my mother grabbed my arm, hard. "You think you've won something?" she whispered. "You don't deserve any of this." I looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't feel small. "I didn't ask for it," I said quietly. Then I walked away. That was the last time I saw them, for 5 years. That night, I sat alone in my grandfather's house, the house that was now mine. It felt strange, heavy, empty. I held the letter in my hands for hours before finally opening it. And when I did, everything I knew about my life collapsed. "Dear boy," it began, "if you're reading this, it means I'm gone, and it's time you knew the truth." My heart started racing. "You were never unwanted." I froze. "Your parents didn't throw you out because they didn't love you." My hands shook. "They threw you out because they were afraid." Afraid? Of what? "They discovered something when you turned 18. My breath caught. Something I had hidden for many years. I felt a cold chill run through me. "You are not their biological son." The room spun. "They adopted you as a baby." No, that couldn't be true. "But what they didn't know was who your real mother was." My chest tightened. "She was someone powerful, dangerous, a woman with enemies." I could barely breathe. "She left you with us to protect you." Protect me? When your parents found out the truth, they panicked. My mind raced back to that night. The fear in their eyes, the sudden coldness. They thought if they cut ties with you, it would keep them safe. Tears streamed down my face. They were wrong to abandon you, but they were also afraid for their lives. Everything I believed, everything I felt, twisted into something unrecognizable. And now, there is one final truth you must know. My hands trembled violently. Your mother is still alive. I stopped breathing. And she knows where you are. The letter slipped from my hands. I sat there in silence, heart pounding, mind racing. Then, the doorbell rang. Slow, loud, echoing through the empty house. I stood up, my legs weak. Step by step, I walked toward the door. Every second felt heavier than the last. And when I opened it, a woman stood there, elegant, calm, unfamiliar. But her eyes, they felt like mine. She smiled softly. "I've been waiting a long time to meet you." My voice barely came out. "Who are you?" She tilted her head slightly and said the words that changed everything again. "I'm your mother." And just like that, the story I thought had ended was only just beginning.
Select now another video in our series of family and company dramas. They are all powerful stories of people coming back stronger after they have been humiliated or hurt by family members or their management. Always make sure you stay strong. Let nobody ever tell you what you are worth. You know the best. Of course.